You're listening to Rattle and Pedal, divergent thoughts on marketing and growing professional services firms. Your hosts are Jason Malicki and Jeff McKay.
All right, for those of you keeping score at home, I just want to say that it is now effectively Jeff 6000, Jason 1 in the category of inviting great guests onto Rattle and Pedal. So today, as part of our series on growth, we're actually inviting Jay Laabs, a CEO of Spaulding Ridge, to join us and talk about really his unbelievable journey of growth through multiple firms, multiple years. So let me just first say, Jay, thank you for joining us, and maybe just kick us off. Just tell us a little bit about you and who you are in Spaulding Ridge, and then we'll jump into this conversation.
Sure. Thanks, guys. I've been working in the digital transformation space for about 25 years now. Spaulding Ridge is the second company that I founded. The first I started in my 20s was based on Hyperion technology, which became Oracle. I exited that company in 2013 to Huron Consulting. While at Huron, I ran their technology business for about 3 years and grew that to over 500 people before starting Spaulding Ridge 2.5 years ago.
So before Jeff takes us sideways and takes us into a bunch of culture conversations that neither one of us really want to have, I have a question for you. How did you find yourself in the Hyperion Oracle space in the first place? Like, how did you find yourself in the tech business and in that particular technology stack in the very beginning?
You know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. When I graduated from University of Wisconsin in 1998, I ended up taking a job with a little 40-person software company run by a couple of professors from the Kellogg School of Business. You know, I had a finance degree, like I said, and many of my friends were all going into banking. But for some reason, the technology element was interesting to me. You know, that's when all the dot-com stuff was going on. And then Hyperion ended up buying that small company of ours in 2003. So all of a sudden, you know, we went from being a part of this, 40, 50 person company to Hyperion, which at the time was in their sort of march to $1 billion in revenue right before they went public themselves. So,
wow, that's cool. That was the number one story I was dying to hear. All right, Jeff, how do you want to break this thing down?
Well, in the spirit of full disclosure, I met Jay through another startup. Jay is a mentor and investor to multiple companies and was introduced to him by a couple of sharp guys where he was mentor. And one of the things that just struck me about Jay, well, there were multiple things, and you'll see that as we talk here, but his thinking is so clean. It's so crisp and clear. And it's, I don't know what word I would put on it, refreshing. Maybe. And, having worked with firms like Huron, and Spaulding Ridge was a Prudent Pedal client as well, I have an opportunity to look closely at those cultures. And Jay has this incredible philosophy, and I want to unpack it. So what I'd like to do is maybe high level, Jay, have you kind of talk about your philosophy about growth, but I know there's some precursors that shape your philosophy on growth, but give us a feel for how you think about growth and about your firm and your people.
So growth to me is incredibly important to have success in this space. And a lot of it goes back to, when I was a 22-year-old analyst thinking about, what type of company, what type of industry I wanted to make my career around. And so in building companies, growth to me comes down to three things and why it's so important. And first, to your employees. Your people want raises every year. They want promotions. They want more perks. They want more, direct reporting relationships. That is natural. At least it's natural for the kind of people that we're looking to hire. They want a fast-paced, dynamic environment, especially like we are doing digital transformation technology. It's rapidly changing and evolving space. They're looking for growth. Second is reputation. The market is an efficient, smart market. They see when a firm is growing that many other companies are trusting you with their business. Growth is typically not accidental. It shows you're delivering value for your clients. It shows that you are hiring the right kind of people. And, once again, in consulting, you want those people advising you. And also it shows that you're financially viable. Buyer of consulting services wants to know that you're going to be around in a few years to help them as their digital transformation evolves. And the third part of growth, I think, is important is optionality. When you're growing and you're successful, we have the opportunity to invest in new offerings, maybe new technologies. And, our clients are going to benefit from that too. We can offer them various perspectives on multiple software platforms, not just one. I think COVID really is played this out too, that as that happened, we saw our different business lines all reacted a little bit differently. And I was very, very grateful to have the optionality that we had in running our business versus I was looking at, some former colleagues who were in more single threaded businesses, tough to manage through that. So, really, to me, it's about employees, reputation, and having that optionality.
I have a question about that last part, Jay. And as I was looking at your current firm and even your last firm, what I was curious about from your perspective was how much of your success was about making the right technology choices versus kind of everything else in that model, sort of aligning yourself with Salesforce right now versus having aligned yourself with Zoho or some other platform that maybe didn't grow and prosper as fast as the technology you correctly picked.
Yeah, Jason, that is spot on. And a lot of people in our industry shy away from being direct about this, but a ton of our success is due to who we've chosen to align ourselves with. A lot of the big firms like to talk about how they're agnostic and neutral and all these things. And I look at that as, I think that's actually nonsense. We talk about how we try to pick the winners. We're helping our clients align with the winners versus some of these also-rans. Because if you're really trying to deliver value, to your clients, you want them to be on the best tech stack, that is going to continue to get more investment, that have good leaders themselves running those companies, versus trying to be everything to everyone. So I know we have a little bit of a different perspective on it, but we say, hey, we're a best in cloud consulting firm and we only align ourselves with the winners.
Jeff, what I love about that is you think about that notion. I had never thought about this until you said it right now, Jay, but just that notion of being objective and being hired to give the client advice on the right technology. In some ways, by you picking technologies that you're going to be deep in, you've sort of pre-made the choice for them. You said, look, the reality is that in most instances, this technology is going to be the right fit for a lot of companies because they're the winners. It's cool.
You know what I love about Spaulding Ridge and that philosophy, and it's one that I try to bring out when I'm working with my clients, is you're being paid to share a point of view. And the clients are smart enough to know if they should trust you or they should not. They'll just give them the point of view and let them weigh the pros and cons. And most firms don't want to do that. They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to go out on a limb and say that. But the firms that are most successful have that clear voice. And, you're not going to be 100% picking winners, as Jay says, but so far he's been pretty good.
But he's got some pretty good back success wins there, right? Success stories.
Right. But you don't just say that because, oh yeah, we're aligned with Anaplan, example, because we get a higher, kickback from them. You have to rationalize it. Here's why we do it. Here's the upside of that. Here's the downside of that.
I would say when we go and talk to prospective clients, we take that same direct approach and try to tell them, because look, if you try to, say what you need to say to get the work, you still have to deliver on the project and you're not going to deliver on it. So, this